Dear students, today we are going to discuss ISSO Olympiad Workbook for class 10. So today we are going to continue with History, Chapter 2, Globalization and Industrialization. So let's get started. Globalization and Industrialization. So here let's discuss the question answers. First question. Why was the First World War called the first modern industrial war? Option A. Many industries were destroyed in the war. Option B. Soldiers fought with machines. Option C. Factory made guns, tanks, aircrafts were extensively used. And option D. All of these. Correct answer of this question is option C. That is, factory made guns, tanks, aircrafts were extensively used. For the first time, it saw the use of factory made guns, machine guns, tanks, aircrafts, chemical weapons, etc. on a massive scale. So, the First World War was called the first modern industrial war. Next question. By which crucial influences post Second World War Reconstruction was shaped? Option A. The US emerged as the dominant country in the Western world. Option B. The collapse of capitalist world. Option C. The emergence of Soviet Union as a world power. And option D. Both A and C. Yes, correct answer will be both A and C. That is, the US emerged as the dominant country in the Western world, and option C, that is the emergence of Soviet Union as a world power. Now coming to next question. What changes in technology brought in the meat trade in Europe? Option A. Now more animals could be sent to Europe from Australia and America. Option B. Shipping of frozen meat to Europe made it affordable for the poor. Option C. Reduced risk of loss as the animals could be bred in Europe. And option D. None of these. Correct answer will be option B. That is, shipping of frozen meat to Europe made it affordable for the poor people. Next question. What problems were faced by the cotton weavers in India? Option A. Export market had collapsed. Option B. They did not have good quality cotton. Option C. Imported goods were cheap. And option D. All of these. Yes, all of these will be the right answer, because all these problems were faced by the cotton weavers in India. Now next question. During the 19th century, which were the most dynamic industries in Britain? Option A. Cotton and metal. Option B. Metal and sugar. Option C. Sugar and cotton. And option D. None of these. Yes, the correct answer of this question will be option A, that is cotton and metal. So during the 19th century, the most dynamic industries in Britain were cotton industries and metal industries. So this is the correct answer. Now coming to next question. Where was the first jute mill set up in India? Option A. Bihar. Option B. Bengal. Option C. Madras. And option D. None of these. So what will be the correct answer, students? Yes, the correct answer of this question will be Bengal. Okay. So Bengal, it was the first, jute mill set up in India, in Bengal. This is the correct answer. Now the next question. In the aftermath of Christopher Columbus' discovery of America, food like potatoes, soya, groundnuts, maize, tomatoes, chilies, sweet potatoes, and so on came to dash and dash from America. Option A, Africa and Europe. Option B, Austria and Prussia. Option C, Asia and Europe. And option D, Indonesia and Russia. Option C will be the correct answer of this question. Yes, Asia and Europe. So here you can see these foods were only introduced in Europe and Asia after the accidental discovery of the vast continent that would later become known as the Americas. Okay, coming to next question. When did the earliest factories come up in England? Option A in 1730s, option B in 1750s, option C in 1770s, and option D in 1760s. Option A will be the correct answer, that is in 1730s. Next question. What were the causes that led to the decline of weaving industry in India? Option A, by the 1850s, their export market collapsed and the local markets shrank. Option B, the cheap machine produced clothes from Manchester glutted the Indian market. And option C, America stopped cotton export to Britain because of the Civil War. So, cotton began to be exported from India, leading to a shortage of raw material in India. And option D, all of these. Right answer will be all of these. That is option D. Okay. Next question. When did the export of Indian yarn to China decline? Option A 1915, option B 1910, option C 1906, and option D 1902. Yes, the correct answer will be option C. That is, from 1906, the export of Indian yarn to China declined since produced from Chinese and Japanese mills flooded the Chinese market. So, next question. The global transfer of disease in the pre-modern world helped in the colonization of the Americas. In particular, it proved a deadly killer. It killed and decimated whole communities, paving the way for conquest. Which was the disease? Option A, malaria. Option B, smallpox. Option C, jaundice. And option D, plague. Yes, the right answer will be smallpox. That is B. The Native Americans had no immunity against the disease that came from Europe, as America had been cut off from the rest of the world for millions of years. So they had no defense against this type of disease. Next question. When did the active coastal trade link the Indus Valley civilization with present-day West Asia? Option A, as early as 500 BCE. Option B, as early as 1000 BCE. Option C, as early as 2000 BCE. And option D, as early as 3000 BCE. Yes, right answer will be option D, that is as early as 3000 BCE. Next question. Silk routes were known to have existed since before the dash and thrived almost till the dash. Option A, Christian era 14th century. Option B, Christian era 15th century. Option C, Christian era 16th century. And option D, Christian era 17th century. Yes, right answer option B. That is, Silk routes were known to have existed since before the Christian era and thrived almost till the 15th century. So, this is the correct answer. Now, next question. In which state the British Indian government built a network of irrigation canals known as the Canal Colonies? Option A Punjab, option B Rajasthan, option C Uttar Pradesh, and option D Bengal. Yes, A. Option A is the correct answer. That is in Punjab. Next question. In which country introduced corn laws to restrict the import of corn? Option A France, option B Germany, option C Britain, and option D Spain. So, which country? Right answer will be option C, that is Britain. So, next question. Which one of the following goddess image was not used on imported cloth labels? Option A Kartika, option B Saraswati, option C Lakshmi, and option D Durga. Yes, correct answer will be option D, that is Durga. Next question. Which among the following industrialists began selling cloth in India with labels on the on the cloth bundles? Option A Manchester industrialist, option B Yorkshire industrialist, option C Lancashire industrialist, and option D Glasgow industrialist. Correct answer will be option A, that is Manchester industrialist. Next question. Most developing countries organize themselves as a group of G77 years to demand a NIEO, by which they meant a system that would give them real control over their natural resources, fairer prices for the raw materials, and better access for their manufactured goods in the market of the developed countries. What does NIEO stand for? Option A New Invention Economic Order, option B New International Economic Order, option C National Invention Environment Organization, and option D National International Environment Organization. Correct answer will be option B, that is New International Economic Order. This is the full form of NIEO. Next question. Legends spread in the 17th century Europe about South America's fabled wealth. Many expeditions set off in search of El Dorado, the fabled city of Dash. Option A silver, option B gold, option C coal, and option D platinum. Yes, option B will be the correct answer. That is gold. El Dorado, the legendary lost city of gold, was a beacon for thousands of explorers and gold seekers for centuries. Next question. Who believed that India would develop through westernization and industrialization, and for that invested in shipping, shipbuilding, mining, banking, plantation, and insurance? Option A J.N. Tata, option B Bhai Bhosle, option C Jamsetji G. Boy, and option D Dwarkanath Tagore. So, who was that person? Yes, that is option D, Dwarkanath Tagore. In Bengal, Dwarkanath Tagore made his fortune in the China trade before he turned to industrial investment, setting up 6 joint stock companies in the 1830s and 1840s. Next question. Match the column and choose the correct option. In column 1, you can see number 1. In the 19th century, the export of British cotton goods. In column 2, it's given John Maynard Keynes. Option B, number 2, that is number B. Central powers of the First World War, and in column 2, it's given increased dramatically. Then number 3, that is C, assembly line method, and here in column 2, Germany, Austria-Hungary and the Ottoman Turkey. And in D, Indian gold export promoted global economic recovery, and in column 2, it's a manufacturing method. So here you can see for A, B, C, D options are given with the proper numbering. So you have to choose the correct one. Yes, it will be number C, option C. Okay, this is the correct answer. Next question, match the following column and choose the correct option. Again, column 1, column 2 has been given over here, E.T. Paul, and in column 2, Gulf countries. Then in column 1, Surat port connected India to, and in column 2, it's given cotton mill. And again, in column 1, James Hargreaves, and in column 2, dawn of the century. In column 1, Richard Arkwright, and in column 2, spinning jenny. And option A, B, C, D has been given. Here you have to choose the correct one. Yes, option D will be the correct answer of this question. Next question, fill in the blanks by choosing the correct option. In 1854, the first cotton mill in Dash was set up and went into production 2 years later. By 1862, 4 more mills were set up, and around the same time Dash mills came up in Bengal. The first being set up in 1855 and another one after 7 years in 1862. In North India, the Dash mill was started in Dash in the 1860s. So here 4 options are given, A, B, C and D. You have to choose the correct one. Option C will be the correct answer. That is, in 1854, the first cotton mill in Bombay was set up and went into production 2 years later. By 1862, 4 more mills were set up. Around the same time, jute mills came up in Bengal, the first being set up in 1855 and another one after 7 years in 1862. In North India, the Elgin mill was started in Kanpur in the 1860s. So this is the correct answer. Now next question. Read the following sentences and choose which one are true and which one are false. Option number 1. When the spinning jenny was introduced in the woolen industry, women who survived on hand spinning began attacking the new machines. Number 2. When weavers started using looms with a fly shuttle, it decreased productivity. Next, number 3. During the First World War, Indian mills had a vast home market to supply. As the war prolonged, Indian factories were called upon to supply war needs. And number 4. Before the age of machine industries, jute and cotton goods from India dominated the international market in textiles. Here you can see option A, B, C, D has been given. So the correct answer of this question will be option A. That is, when weavers started using looms with a fly shuttle, it increased productivity per worker and speeded up production and reduced labor demand. Now, before the age of machine industries, silk and cotton goods from India dominated the international market in textiles. Okay, coming to next question. Read the following statement and select the correct option. Statement 1. An industrial society which is based on man production cannot sustain without mass consumption, And for that, there is a need for high and stable incomes. And stable incomes also require steady full employment. Now, statement 2. A country's economy links with the outside world, and the goal of full employment can only be achieved if government has power to control flows of goods, capital and labor. Now, option A, both statement 1 and 2 are true. Option B, both statement 1 and 2 are false. Option C, statement 1 is true and statement 2 is false. Now next, option D, statement 1 is false and statement 2 is true. So which one will be the correct answer? Yes, option A is the correct answer. That is, both the statement 1 and both the statement 1 and 2 both are true. So this is the correct answer of this question. Okay students, so that's all for this video. We have discussed today chapter 2 of history, globalization and industrialization. Few question answers we have discussed, and you must practice, students. Go through the chapter properly and go through the question answers, revise it, and next day again we are going to discuss the question answers in my next video. Until then, take care, goodbye, and thank you all.